figure it out.
I'll do a little bit of both.
But I do want to get into yourself, Jeff. Let's take it to the beginning. Where are you from? Who are you, just as an individual?
Besides the point, though, how you doing good today, man? How we doing? You doing good?
I'm doing just fine.
Oh, damn.
I'm doing just fine, goddammit, Jeff. I want to know about you, man.
All I'm gonna say is, man, life is a bunch of trials.
I don't want to hear that. All you can say, I want to get deep.
Let's get deep.
Y'all see the title, It Gets Deep. I want to know about you, Jeff. Where are you from? You from Colorado?
Of course I'm from Colorado.
You're from Colorado?
Yeah.
Where are your parents from?
Africa.
Africa?
Yeah.
Where in Africa?
Cote d'Ivoire, the West Africa.
You're a west sider of the African side. You come on the west side, you like, what's sea?
Yeah, that's also why I'm like built like this, real stocky.
What you mean?
They say like that West African people are like real buff, swollen, like stocky.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
So you're supposed to be swole.
It's in my genes.
Just to
Working
be a big
about
dude.
genes.
We'll get into that. That's before Jeff, soon to be Slim, came. Jeff was a muscle head. I mean, like, y'all know when you see the muscles in the side of a dude's head. That was Jeff. Muscles inside the head. He get mad, clenching the jaw. Them it's bulging out here. It's crazy muscles.
Hey man, I was on a grind, man. I was trying to get better, whether it's for sports,
Soon to be
whether
slim.
it was just for girls,
Soon to be
whether
slim.
it was for me, it was everything. Soon to be slim.
He almost
And
left me
soon to
hanging
be
again.
swoller.
Soon to be swole again. Say my interview. I used to be big once upon a time. That's for another talk.
Chad's too tough on himself. He's not Mr. Meathead, but he's not small either, like some people we might know. No.
Oh, shots fired. We need a soundboard in this bitch. Pow, pow, pow.
We do need a soundboard. That would
That'd
be great.
fire. That would be fire. But back to you. So your parents are from the west side of Africa. Did your parents come up in any kind of gangs or anything? Or do you got any stories about what they went through in Africa?
Nah, I don't, because I never really like tapped in or talked about it, but
You never try to like break them down? I don't want to hear no comments about what I'm doing here. Y'all just listen to the conversation, okay? You don't got no stories, or you never asked them about what goes on or like what they've been through or nothing like that?
not really, because
Really?
yeah, not really.
Is the west side, is that the jungle? Can you run into like some lions and tigers and bears?
I
Oh
feel
my.
like, I don't know much about Africa, but I feel like there's all jungles in all parts of Africa. But West Africa is really known for like their vegetation.
Vegetation.
Like their leaves, their trees, and all of that.
Like what do you know the vegetation? Like what's their famous vegetation? Because I think of Africa, excuse me, I think of blood diamonds. You could call me real stereotypical. I think blood diamonds. I think lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! I think
Bears? What are bears doing in Africa, bro?
I'm
What?
thinking safari. I'm thinking a cheetah chasing me down. I'm thinking a black panther catching me in a tree. I'm thinking an elephant taking me down or stomping me or something like. Do you know what kind of side they came from? Like, do you know about West Africa at all?
Not really, but the thing is, like, there's a lot of misconceptions about Africa. But at the same time, everybody that goes to Africa says that it's like beautiful, it's great, it's not what you seem, not what it seems like. But at the same time, there's probably some sketchy places. But then again, it's like everywhere else. So
yeah, like everywhere.
There's just a misconception, especially in America, about Africa and all about that.
Yeah. So do you ever feel like when people come with the African stereotypes, like, oh, like me, maybe you charcoal little son, or boy, like they come. It's a little far, and I'm sorry, guys. I just know our friend
like
circle.
moving right there, I was about to come in and roast his
Hey,
ass.
Jeff was trying to come.
I said, what? Hold on, what? I was coming in to put him in a broiler.
That was loading up the shot. He like, all right. Do you ever feel like being from Africa, even your own community comes at you like you're not black, you're this certain kind of race? Do you ever feel like that?
Of course, because it's like, if you, like, I'm not thin-skinned, but you know, you growing up, you hear some shit like African booty scratching and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't faze me, but at the same time, it's like a lot of African Americans don't identify with Africa,
Okay.
even though science or history might say that they're from Africa. They don't identify with it.
Go. Keep going.
Nah, that's it.
How do you feel about like that? Like, if you're like, man, I'm African, you're just black, or maybe you don't say that, but they're like, fool, I'm from Africa too. Do you take that offensive like, bro, you're not African, like stop that? Or do you kind of take it like, yeah, we're all from Africa, okay?
You know me, I'm pretty laid back nowadays, so I don't really take it either way. But when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites and stuff, when they're like, "Oh, I'm not African or whatever," I kind of like just let them do them.
What's the Hebrew Israelites
It's
for the
like,
people that don't know?
It's kind of like people that think that black people came from Israel, and they're like the first. They're like, and
Which
it's like
will make them from where?
It's like biblically intertwined with like the Bible, like the first people were black people in Israel. I don't know.
I don't want to sound dumb, and Israel would be in Russia, right?
Nah, Europe.
Europe. But what's that whole side is what? Europe, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Bow. God,
He's cut off. I'm on my side.
Hey, y'all leave me alone. I got my
He's cut
GED
off.
in 10th grade. Let me be. Let me be. But okay. With that said, so you don't feel any kind of way about it. When you came out here, did that kind of transfer with your parents being from the west side of Africa and you being from America? Were you kind of like, man, all this bullshit y'all talking, like, it's not that? Or, like, how did that kind of transfer over to you?
This man is not even my friend. He said when I came out
They
here, I was
don't know.
born here,
They
buddy.
don't know, Jeff. You're getting interviewed, buddy.
I was born here, buddy.
Yes. No.
Brother.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. Y'all
I
get in the
expect you
comments.
to know me, man.
Did
Come
I
on,
say it wrong, or was Jeff not listening? Because what I thought I said is, you being born in Africa, was it different with your parents being born on the west side of Africa when they kind of came with their religion or their habits or their culture or their tradition? Were you ever like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this is what we do. Or like, we're not in Africa no more. It's this. Or did you ever kind of rebel against that?
What, against like African culture and like the way my parents act?
Both.
I don't know. I feel like my mom's pretty Americanized, so like, I mean, you've met with my mom. She's not like super strict African, where she's like, all right, you gotta go to college, become a doctor, become a lawyer. And I feel like there's a lot of immigrant parents. They're like, they expect the best. My mom expects the best out of me, and she knows my potential, but at the same time, she's just like, I'm gonna let him do him and let him figure it out himself.
I don't want to kind of call it, you need to finish school, you need to graduate, you need to stay on this grind. But the new American dream is kind of like, you need to figure out what you're trying to do and put your all into it. Whether that's college or not. I know a lot of kids, I won't say statistics, but from what I see, a lot of parents are more telling their kids, if you want to go, go. If you don't, then you need to find what you're chasing and chase it to the fullest.
I feel you, but I'm gonna say this to start off. I feel like a lot of immigrant people that come to America are most definitely more of the successful people in America because they know they value it more than a born American would.
Facts.
And then also, what can you cut that down a little bit? What were you asking?
So basically, like, do you feel like the old American dream was?
Oh yeah, I feel what you're saying.
You know,
I feel like, cause like, if you graduate college, you're not guaranteed a job, but it's more of a stable pathway than like doing something like an influencer or a rapper or something. So it's like that's why they push that on their kids.
And that's why I kind of go into like, do you feel like the immigrants are and it sounds bad, but kind of selling their kids like the old American dream, which was, oh, you're free and you get to go to high school and you could go to college for free, quote unquote, and later down the road, you're guaranteed to, if you go get that master's degree and do that 8 to 10 years of college, you'll be a doctor. You might still end up at Illages or King Soopers pushing carts, because those positions might be full, especially as of now with COVID. They actually are doing furloughs from different states to get doctors into hospitals because it's so low, you know? So I guess the question would be, do you feel like immigrants are selling their children the old American dream because the new one looks dumb to them? Or maybe they don't see the new one?
It's all about vision and perspective. Like the vision you have for like what you want your kids to do, or the vision what you have of what's successful or not. So it's like whatever it seems to you, that's a dream to you, pretty much.
Being part of the immigrant circle, do you ever feel like your parents projected their dreams onto you and their opportunities that they never had for you to take advantage of?
Not really. I feel like my mom's a pretty balanced person, so like, there's no stress with my mom. Like, it's pretty much just like, I know what I have to do, and she knows what she has to do, and she knows what she wants of me. I know what I want of her, and that's it.
Okay. So with that being said, coming up and as you were going through the motions and she was seeing, because I know you, that you weren't too strict on the college thing but still keeping it in mind, how do you think she reacted to kind of how you grew up? Let's just go through your childhood. What were your endeavors? What were your hobbies and habits?
One thing I'm gonna say is, man, college is not for everybody. I feel like I'm smart, but like, I don't know about you, bro. How like, cause literally, when I'll be in school, I'll do well for like the first semester. Then after that, I would just tailor off because I got burnt out.
Of what? Any grade?
Yeah, pretty much. Cause like, I can do well in school. It's just like, I get burnt out. I'm like, bro, this homework, these 6-hour days of school is not cutting. How do you feel like about like school? What was your like feelings towards school?
Well,
Like that.
I had dropped out in 10th grade to up in the streets. I ended up going down the road I went. We'll save that for the chance interview. But, you know, I ended up getting my GED. So even from the early path of just dropping out and not really getting my diploma, I kind of always saw high school, or not high school, colleges. I never really saw it as like, if you want to succeed in life, you need to take this route. I've always been...
I don't either, so I agree with you.
Yeah, I've always been on, and I was telling you this earlier, you could call me Kanye with the shit out of sense, because I kind of am narcissistic. Not in the sense of I'm the best to do it, but I know that damn well I don't need nobody to do this shit, and I know I'm a great person, great personality where I could do it anywhere. That is how I feel about myself, and that kind of reflected on my life and projected throughout my life to show that Chance isn't really worried about college. Like, he doesn't really think he needs that, and every time the college conversation came up, it was like, yeah, I think college parties would be fun.
I feel that, and I feel like one thing that's important is like having confidence in yourself and knowing like, okay, if I don't go to college, then I know I'm gonna have to make it. It's like I'm putting pressure on myself. But I want to harp on something you just said, like, so like when you were in the streets and stuff, and like you went to jail and stuff. What would you consider like the worst year of your life?
This isn't the Chance interview.
I know, but answer the question.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer it.
God damn it!
This is the Jeff goddamn interview. Goddamn it! But with
have to
that,
be structured like that. We good?
It's not structured. I got plenty of questions for you. I want to get off, ho. And but with your question there,
yeah, I'm not fucking with
for the people that are just listening through headphones. Yeah, I mean mug this guy. But for the hardest year of my life, I think I'd have to think about that. I think I steadily realized stuff wasn't as hard as I thought it was at that moment. Or when I look back on it, hard wasn't even hard. It was just kind of tough. And it was just kind of normal. But I'd say, honestly, I think the hardest parts of my life were when I had finally told myself I'm done with the streets, because I realized I had to get used to a regular life. I had to get used to a life that's not filled with narcotics or not filled with thrills and not filled with daily money, but I had to get used to a schedule and used to sobriety, and obviously I'm failing, but used to just stuff like that. And I found it very hard to, honestly, on a sad note, kind of enjoy what we're living out, because I noticed the life that I was living as a youngster was fun, and that was thrillful for me, and that the regular life that everybody lives is pretty fucking boring.
I would definitely, I can't say I agree, but give me 1 second. I'm sharing the podcast.
But so throughout with you and your parents,
I want to get back to that.
All right, then answer before you share it, man.
All right, I'm about to answer. So, but you didn't answer my question. So you don't
I did.
think that
I said the hardest part would probably be when I had finally decided that I'm not getting in the streets no more, which was probably 2020 April 8th when I got out of county.
I feel like life is a bunch of seasons. So like literally, you have your ebbs and flows, and then you have your hard years and bad years. I feel like one of my hardest years was probably like 2018.
Yep,
man.
that's too far forward. Hold on, let me take you back, Jeff. Hold on. Let me guide this
let me
interview.
do my segues,
Let
man.
me guide this interview though. Like we're gonna get to 2018. Let me guide this interview real quick. So like you were saying with man, you kind of made me forget, but I want to know through your elementary and middle school years, what were your goals? Were your ambitions to, and I'm kind of jumping forward, to be a personal fitness representative? What's the word I'm looking for?
Trainer.
A personal trainer. Where your goal is to be a podcaster, where your goal is to do anything with social media. Like how was elementary and middle school for a kid of a immigrant that came from such a different background? How was that growing up?
I just feel like literally one thing about me is like, and it took a friend to tell me this to realize is I just like improving. I like productiveness. Like throughout elementary school and like middle school, I would be working out. I'd be trying to get smarter.
So you were working out in elementary and middle school
Yeah,
already?
I like in elementary school. This is how it started. So like, it's 5th grade. It's about to be the end of 5th grade. We have a pool party coming up, and I'm like, okay, I want to get
a
abs.
pool party in 5th grade?
Yeah.
Oh, they freaky.
Nah. I'm trying to get abs for this pool party, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I need to work out. So I'm into my house doing like Jillian Michael workouts off like Jillian Michael workouts off like the fucking on demand and stuff.
Okay.
Trying to get abs and stuff. I never got abs, but it taught me the skill of working out.
Uh-huh.
So that carried on to like middle school.
Never got abs, even when he's fit. Keep going.
Bro, cap. Come on
Keep
now.
going. Keep going.
I'm going to pull up a picture. Come on, bro. But that's in the past. We're going to see what happens when I get back in shape in the future.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. Keep going. Keep going.
But yeah, that kind of like instilled in me the act of working out. Like, I'm not trying to toot my horn, but like in middle school, I was like pretty muscular, motivated, and just like everything, I was just fit.
Yeah.
So like that's one of my main goals. But like throughout my whole life, working out has always been a consistent, whether it's been through like sports or like just me self-motivating myself.
So you always had that drive. So with being in elementary and middle school, that drive, kind of back to the question I asked before, how did that help you or affect you growing up with parents that came from a different country and a different culture and really just a different upbringing and perspective that they're looking through? They're not through the optical of a regular American person. They're kind of seeing their past and what they've been through and trying to project it as you, because that's what parents do.
I would say that, like, I got to give my mom props because she has great work ethic, but I don't think she really motivated me or she might have passed it down like genetically, but she wasn't a reason why I got that ambition and that work ethic. I feel like just me, like you want to attract more girls, you have to have a better body. You have to be on top of your game. You want to be more athletic, you have to be more athletic. You have to work out. You have to push yourself. So it's from my personal goals that came that ambition and that skill of trying to push myself to do better.
And I can agree with you, but a lot of people can't. So do you think it was something that happened to your life or something that happened to you that made you so strong in ambition and motivation and like so driven to get better for people or yourself or for your future? Or do you think it was just something that was instilled in you?
Like I said, I think it was my goals, and my goals drove me, motivated me to want to get better.
So you think it was
My
something that was
self-goals.
instilled in you already?
I'm saying, like, the goals I have, I guess you could say that, it, like, instilled in me, but I'm just saying, like, literally, the goals I have were enough to motivate me to go out there and work out or go out there and try to get better or do whatever.
But there might be some people out there that can't find that ambition and don't find their goals that motivating just to push you. Do you think it was something that you figured out throughout your path through life, or do you think it was something that was just instilled you from the jump?
I guess instilled, because like even throughout like school, I was always a hard worker, so instilled.
So as being a dark man like you are and an ugly boy like you are,
Dark chocolate handsome man like
dark
me.
chocolate Cocoa Crisp, did you find elementary and middle school hard at all?
Like in what terms?
Let's say It's not even kind of being the dark guy. It's just kind of more of honestly being the African dude, and maybe your mom come to school and people seeing that you're really African, that like you're not African American, which a lot of people call them, but you're really African. Your family's the African culture, and you come from that background. Did you ever feel any backlash from that, or have any struggles?
It was like that for me because literally. My mom's Americanized. She's not like dressing in like the whole African attire and stuff. And like with me, I definitely identify as African, but if you talk to me, you wouldn't assume that.
Yeah.
Based off how I just act, I'm more so American culture than African, but I still identify as African.
Okay.
But it wasn't hard at all because like I would never had a problem making friends. I remember with your orange self over there. We met prior to like middle school.
Yeah.
6th grade.
Probably the start of 6th grade, probably, yeah.
No, the summer before the start of 6th grade.
Facts.
And then I remember,
Felt like some big kids down there, huh?
Remember at Prairie, we were just in like the lunchroom. I was eating, you're like, bro, come over here. Started kicking it, started meeting people, and then boom. I had my clique.
So let's go into that. Let's go after you met me, how was that? Like... So me and you met. I think the first day we met, you were on a chopper bike.
Cold bike.
Cold
Harley bike.
Just bike looked like a Harley, dead ass, and he rode that bitch like it was a Harley. Jeff right around town like it was a Harley.
I'm talking about like the bars were up here. I'm sitting back like this, pedaling.
Face like this.
I was a cold man,
bro, looking like Debo or something. So how was middle school for you? What do you think your obstacles and also your endeavors were in middle school?
I say obstacle. I think I'm like my main obstacle. Like I don't think I'm competing against other people. I think I compete against myself and I get in my own way. So like that would be my main obstacle. Endeavors was definitely
yourself.
Yeah, myself.
Yourself, okay.
Endeavors would definitely be just like grinding, like, cause I loved playing sports, so I wanted to do something with sports, like working out, main endeavor.
You never had nothing crazy happen in sports or nothing?
What you mean?
Like just some crazy story that you're like, bro, one time there's this crazy time. You got no juice?
I ain't got no juice. Like what? Elaborate. What you saying?
I don't know. If you have one, it would have came to you with like your juice and like your crazy stories.
Oh no! I mean, I got a crazy story. I remember one time I was at a track meet. And then it was like I was like varsity, and then we had to go support the JV varsity people, and I was like off of edible.
You were off of edible?
Off of edible at the track meet.
Why the hell you taking edibles to a track meet, Jeff?
I wasn't running, man. I was trying to have a good time.
Okay, so you're not overconfident. You're just like, man, I don't even want to be here. I'm finna get high as hell and pop out.
I guess so.
Don't guess. That's what happened. So what else? Let me know. What happened?
That's it. That's the only entertaining story I got.
Yeah, this the wackest story ever.
That's it, man. That's it.
Come on, Jeff. We need some juice.
But Jeff does not smoke anymore. Just so everybody knows.
What, marijuana?
Nope.
Do we want to get into that now or later?
What? Why
you don't smoke marijuana no more?
I mean, you interviewing me, right? Let me know. What question you got to ask?
All right, so why don't you smoke weed no more?
It does not work with me.
Why not?
It does not comply with me. It's like, it's just real, like anti-Jeff. Let's just say that.
So we'll get into that later. Wait, let me backpedal a couple steps. So with you being in middle school and then going to high school, when did you kind of find your path? And then also, was Jeff always Jeff to be slim, or was Jeff slim and then kind of became who you are today, and now you're on the Jeff to be slim stuff?
Well, man, I think I was like chunky middle and elementary school, hit a growth spurt, got slim, got muscular, then got swole freshman, sophomore year, and then I lost a lot of that muscle weight, got like slimmer and still muscular, and then now I'm a sack of potatoes.
What's a sack of potatoes? So with you being chubby, you think it was pure the growth spurt that got you slim, or do you think?
Yeah, it was probably working out in both because literally, right before you hit a growth spurt, you gain weight, so your body can like actually elongate that weight to make you taller.
Is that true?
Yeah, you gain weight before a growth spurt.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Like you gain.
Okay, I ain't gonna doubt you. So Jeff goes from chubby to slim, right?
Are you listening?
You're just giving me short responses. I'm trying to get
yeah.
real deep. You're giving me real short responses.
Yeah, I did. Go ahead.
Okay, so Jeff went from slim to chubby, or my fault, chubby to slim. What could we get into the path of you going from slim to chubby, or did it just kind of happen?
It kind of happened. I was working out, but like, it just kind of happened. I grew, so like the weight was distributed more evenly, and that's kind of how it went.
It just kind of got big.
And I got taller. Are you talking about from like what transformation?
I'm
you
talking about from the slim to big again.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. How you want to dive into that topic? Because that's the
your
topic you have
interview.
to unpack.
It's your interview. You got
In my life. So, pretty much, everything's been fine with my life up until. I mean, of course, there's bad stuff in everybody's
y'all.
life.
Am I the drunk one, or is he the drunk one now?
Nah. I'm sober.
We solid.
Sober.
Well, fuck it, Joe.
But
I feel like you're gonna unbag some stuff. Should we go back to the why you stopped smoking?
it's my interview. Let me talk.
Okay.
I mean, so like I would say like me and Chance have been avid weed smokers since like 13, but I quit and he still partakes.
Kids don't do drugs.
And I feel like that's part of the reason why. Let me just rephrase. Let me rephrase. So pretty much 2017, it's winter break. I'm living life. I'm smoking weed. I'm doing whatever I do, and then I started to have like a mental health crisis. Pretty much.
Okay.
So like I started to become real paranoid, real like super like suspicious and all that.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Can we get deeper into that? What was the paranoia? So, like, what are you suspicious about, and why do you feel that the perfect word is paranoia? And the way you're feeling, like, could we go a little deeper?
Just paranoid about everything around me and
Just
everybody.
any and everything.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck is anything happening?
Just like yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
But lost my train of thought. Thanks, Chance.
So you start to get paranoid, and this is like why when you're smoking weed, correct?
Yeah.
So you start to get paranoid. Keep going.
I hella lost my train of thought.
That's it. Take time.
So yeah, I started to get paranoid. And then stuff, I would explain that stuff getting weird. And this is when we fell off and all of our friend group fell off with me because I went MIA. I just kind of disappeared. I was like,
kind of in jail when we
withdrew.
fell off. That kind of made us fall off, no?
yeah.
No, I guess it's kind of before that because I kind of started. It was me, you, and Quez, then it kind of shifted to me, you, and Julian. I mean, me, Quez, and Julian, right?
Yeah.
So during this time, you started getting paranoid about me and Quez, or
It was just like a whole plethora of stuff.
can we get into it?
I don't feel like we need to get into the details, but
It gets deep.
I want to sound like a lunatic on the podcast.
Okay.
So, but anyways, yeah. So I started I forgot what I said, bro.
You say you started getting paranoid and you stopped hanging out with me and Quiz.
Literally, and I went MIA on everybody. So like, I go back to school one day at Gateway High School, and then apparently I was like tripping, and I was like not acting, bro.
Just keep going.
Bro, yeah, we're just gonna ignore that. That was very.
Just keep
sad.
going. Keep going.
laptop cool, bro.
That is a crazy question. I'm over here trying to kick it and chop it up with Jeff, and I do this. Hold y'all. Keep going, Jeff, so they can listen to you, and I'll be right back.
I'm rambling, but literally, I just started. I went to school one day, and I was acting weird, so I got admitted to a mental hospital. And with that came like a diagnosis. How do you even use this, bro? With that came a diagnosis, and like just a bunch of crazy shit happened. So that's pretty much like why I gained a lot of weight, because I got put on certain medications and that like blew me up like a fucking Oompa Loompa, which is just terrible. So that's part of the reason why I still don't smoke anymore, because I like it does not like fuck with me at all. Pretty much. Are you good over there, Chance?
Man, I'm over here solid.
You're slipping. How do I even use this, bro? Help a man out.
This
Help a
has to
man
be
out.
on like, yo, this has to stop. Okay, look, so when you close this bitch, it's right here.
All right.
So I'm gonna have to take one of Jeff's beers because I spit half of mine.
What a mine? Hold up.
But I missed most of it, so I heard.
Use this, bro. I know how to use this.
So, here, I'll pop it for you. So, what happens now? Where'd you finish off at? I'm sorry, you guys.
Part of the reason why I don't smoke, part of the reason why I gained a lot of weight for the people that know me that
So you said
killers.
you started taking the pills and kind of blew you up.
Yeah.
Where'd the pills come from? If we could get into that. If you want to move on, that's fine.
Due to my diagnosis.
Did we get the diagnosis?
I'm keeping that private.
So you got your diagnosis. Could we get? Did anything crazy happen once you got diagnosed? You said you had to go where?
It's like a mental hospital.
So what was that like? If we get into it, you can hit me with a next. That's fine.
Just some wild ass shit, man. Jeff had a wild ride. For the people that didn't know, it was kind of like, it's just like a very toxic place. Not because of the people, but because of like how everybody's thrown together with all of their problems.
Do you think?
So one like just melting pot of problems.
So I've been to jail. You've been there. In jail, it's kind of like, oh, we're all criminals. Yeah, we might have our disputes, but it's definitely fuck them. So is it kind of like a thing like that?
Oh yeah, of course, because they don't treat you like you're human.
So you guys are kind of together, like, hey man, fuck him. You hop in, like, yeah, fuck him, like, hey, we'll really
ride up in there.
Yeah, is it like that though?
Kind of.
So if we can we hop into that, or do you want to pass it?
What's your question, you gotta ask?
Mental hospital stuff.
Can
we hop into it or keep going?
What's your question, you gotta ask?
The question is just kind of experience a mental hospital. Was it kind of like being in there? What's like normal schedule? What a room would be like? People in their interactions.
It's kind of like jail.
So you've never been to jail. You don't know. So can we go with that
So
interaction? I'm sorry to call you out like that, but it's not.
How is it not? Explain
It's
to me
not.
how it's not.
Because it's a mental hospital.
Explain that.
With that being said, all right. So let's pause on the interview. Go quick comparison between the mental hospital and jail. Because I've been to jail too many times. Haven't been to mental hospital. You've been to mental hospital a good amount of time, and never jail, right? What aspect would make you say it's jail?
The structure, the rules, the regulations.
As it being what? What are you comparing it to?
Like you have a meal at a certain time every day. You have to go to bed at a certain time every day. There's things you cannot do, can do.
Sound like jail to me.
Exactly.
So let's go into it. What is the experience? Could we go from the jump? Boom. Whatever happens, you end up bow. You're at the front.
Just kind of like people just chilling.
This nigga's on like some rich the kid too cool for school shit, ain't he?
I mean, what do you want me to say? I have no extravagant ass
Bitch,
story,
talk.
bro.
So when we're at the front of the hospital, what's going on? That's what I'm saying. Like, should we keep going on, or are we gonna talk about it?
It's literally just people chilling, bro.
So you walk through the hospital, people are chilling. You're sitting with people chilling.
Bro, it's like, first of all, bro, yeah.
It's your interview. I need more.
It's literally just like that.
I will just pass it. All right. So you get out the mental hospital.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
I have like a couple ins and outs of like going back in and forth, and then also, I get out and I'm like blown up like an Oompa Loompa, like I said, due to the medications.
Blown up like Kanye's West Cheeks or something. Kanye's been tweaking, ain't he?
Blown up like a sack of potatoes.
But you hear Kanye's get